Hey guys, and welcome back to the HellfireComms Ghiblithon. Today, we're going to be taking a look at a movie that Richie has been dreading. I've just been waiting to cover. Please stop the evil laughter before we've even begun. You know that sets me on edge, and it may influence my overall opinion of the film. Anywho, if you guys need help syncing your copy of the film to our commentary, check out the instructions below for, instructions really. And otherwise, we're going to get straight on into things. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Okie Pom Poko. I know this as the Tanuki environmental film, and it's got a lot of balls in it.
Yeah, that is basically Pom Poko in a nutshell. It's just, yeah. The thing with Pom Poko is that not much actually seems to happen. Like, the film's 2 hours long-ish, and yet there's probably only a few key plot elements that take place.
Right.
And that's a pain, but also it's just really weird. I mean, it makes sense. It's an entire film about tanukis and the environment, but yeah, I would, in my opinion, Pom Poko is easily the weakest Ghibli film of the batch.
Really? When only Yesterday exists?
Yeah. And that's largely because it's so long, and it's just so weird and just doesn't really work quite that well. It looks nice though, so I suppose that's something for it.
Yeah, I was going to say, the art style's gorgeous so far. I know it will get a bit less realistic soon enough. It'll get a lot more anime, but so far it's kind of putting me in mind of The Animals of Farthing Wood.
Yeah. It's going to get very, very, very anime very soon, because obviously the whole thing with tanukis is that they can transform. So I should probably just go into the whole thing. So tanukis are Japanese raccoon dogs. They've got a lot of folklore associated with them. They're not actually raccoons, as this dub is going to call them. They're not raccoon dogs, which would be accurate. They're just called raccoons, and those two things are actually very different species.
Yes,
which
I get
sounds
that
ridiculous, but yeah. I suppose it's because, really, in the West, we don't necessarily have the idea of a raccoon dog. We just have raccoons. It's a shame. They could have just called them Tanuki, because that's what they are, but there we go.
Is this a fucking Tanuki gang war or something? What the hell?
Effectively, yes.
Oh my god!
Yes, and you can also see the Tanuki balls, because obviously the whole thing with Tanuki is that they've got large testicles that are very prominent. It's common with quite a lot of creatures, but it's kind of hilarious to see that in a film aimed at children.
I actually kind of like this whole shape-shifting bent, because, at the end of the day, it is just fat raccoon dogs hitting each other with sticks, so you gotta liven it up somehow.
It's going to get incredibly environmental in its message, and that's basically the entire point of the film. So, it's one of the films directed by Isao Takahata.
Uh-huh.
Who is obviously the man behind Grave of the Fireflies, Only Yesterday, this, My Name is the Yamadas, and The Tale of Princess Kaguya. And as I believe I said in Grave of the Fireflies, and potentially Only Yesterday as well, his first film and his last film with Ghibli, I would say, are his best.
Okay.
The rest sort of mingle in the middle to the bottom. Because My Name is the Yamadas is an interesting film, and I would say that I do enjoy it more than Pom Poko, but that might mostly be because of how it ends.
Right. Just so you all know, I'm not just gonna simply take Richie's opinion. I am following my own thing so far, and I do like the shapeshifting angle. It makes for a visually interesting battle and whatnot.
Oh yeah, as an idea, this is quite cool. But it is weird. What's actually quite cool is that the Tanuki in this film are depicted in 3 distinct ways at various times. They can be depicted as realistic animals, as anthropomorphic animals that occasionally wear clothes,
Right.
and as cartoon-like figures based on the manga of Shigeru Sugiura, of whom Takahata is a great fan. And he was famous for his surreal nonsense gag manga.
Yeah, well, we've seen all 3 stars, already then.
Yes. And I think that's quite cool. But yes, this is the kind of main bent of Pom Poko, is that there is a... they're trying to build on the forest land where these Tanuki live, where their habitat is, and it's destroying the forest.
Was that just artistic licensing when he carved out the entire mountainside?
Basically, yes.
I was gonna say, I love the idea of a gigantic bulldozer just off screen.
Yeah, this is effectively what happens in pretty much everywhere. You have to take a bit of land away from the environment to put houses on it, because humanity does take up quite a bit of space. But then, to be fair, actually when you look at the actual facts of how much land in the world is taken up by urban sprawl,
yeah,
it's not actually that big.
No, there's swaths of countryside, forests, jungles and whatnot.
I think on the news the other day there was a report that had been done about continuous urban sprawl, which I won't be able to explain to you what the hell that is. But actually only 0.1% of the UK's land was made up of continuous urban sprawl. I think 67% of it was farmland. So, while obviously there is a major environmental issue in the world, i.e. global warming and all that jazz and deforestation, oftentimes it's maybe not quite as bad as some people make out, but in other cases it's much worse than others make out.
Oh boy, they're all a bunch of cheeky funsters. Look, your home's being bulldozed. You need to actually take this seriously for once. Do you remember the Canadian show, The Raccoons? It was a cartoon.
No.
That may have been a bit before your time, yeah.
just a wee bit. But what is not before my time is the fact that the narrator for this film, in the dub anyway, is voiced by Maurice LaMarche, who most people will recognise as the voice of the Brain in The Animaniacs and Pinky in the Brain.
Oh, yes.
And, yeah, that's just pretty awesome. Yeah, Disney brought in a number of big names once again for this one. So, as Shokichi, who is sort of the main character, sort of a little bit, he is voiced by Jonathan Taylor Thomas, who most people will recognise as being the voice of young Simba in The Lion King. And he's been in a few things since then, but I would say that is basically his most famous role. You also have Clancy Brown.
Yes.
As Gonta. Clancy Brown obviously being most famous as the voice of Dr. Neo Cortex in Crash Bandicoot, and as Mr. Krabs in SpongeBob SquarePants. Obviously he's been in other things, but...
Lex Luthor in the DC animated universe.
So he's done all of that. You've got Tress MacNeille back again for another dub as Fireball Oroku. You've got Andrei Stochka as Usho, he being best known for voicing Owl in the Winnie the Pooh franchise.
Oh, cool.
And also voicing the King in the Cinderella sequels for Disney.
Wow, that's, I got no clue what he sounds like.
Yeah, don't worry, I don't either. What's probably more exciting is the fact that they got J.K. Simmons to voice Seisamon, I think. Obviously, J.K. Simmons, John Jonah Jameson.
Yep.
Also, Cave Johnson in Portal 2. Mayor Lionheart in Zootopia.
Mm-hmm.
He was Terence Fletcher in Whiplash. Stanford Pines in Gravity Falls. Kai in Kung Fu Panda 3. He's just pretty awesome, is J.K. Simmons. You also have Kevin Michael Richardson in various roles as Bunter and Wonderland President.
Uh-huh.
You have Mark Donato, who, nobody's really going to recognise him all that much. Although he has done voices in Avatar The Last Airbender.
Oh, that's a completely different anime.
Very different anime. You've got Wally Kurth as Tamasaburo. I don't think many people would probably recognise much. So anybody who's watched General Hospital would recognise him as Ned Ashton, and anybody who's watched Days of Our Lives would recognise him as Justin Kuriakis. But that's probably about it. You also have John DiMaggio as Ryutaro.
Nice.
John DiMaggio obviously being Bender in Futurama, Jake the Dog in Adventure Time, Marcus Phoenix in Gears of War, Dr. Draken and Motor Ed in Kim Possible, Aquaman in Batman the Brave and the Bold, and various other roles. There are some more people involved in this. There's a David Oliver Cohen as Ponkichi, and Gillian Bowen as Kyo, but they don't have Wikipedia entries, it seems.
Don't worry, you're not missing anything. They're just practicing their shapeshifting abilities right now.
Basically, you have Brian George as Kincho Daimyujin VI and Yashimano Hage. Brian George is known for... Oh, I know who he is. He plays the Pakistani restaurateur Babu Bhatt in Seinfeld, and also the gynecologist father of Raj Kruthapolli in the Big Bang Theory, which is where I'm recognising his face from. You have Jess Harnell as the voice of Inugami Gyobu. Jess Harnell obviously being the voice of...
Wacko.
Yeah, Wacko, Warner in the Animaniacs, and also Crash Bandicoot, since Crash Tag Team Racing. So yes, he's been in a lot of stuff. Oh, and also he will eventually return in Tales from Earthsea.
Oh, nice. What, is that a warning? It's like, oh no, he's coming. You can't stop him.
No, I can't even remember whether he's a big character or not.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll get to that when we get to that.
Yeah, you have Olivia Dabo as Koharu. Olivia Dabo being most well known for being Karen Arnold in The Wonder Years, and Nicole Wallace in Law and Order Criminal Intent. Yeah, it's not. Oh, she's also apparently the voice of Beatrice in Dante's Inferno.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Got nothing. And then we've got a few more. We've got Brian Posehn as Hayashi, who is most well known for being Jim Kubak on the WB's Mission Hill, and Brian Spakowski on the Sarah Silverman programme. So his most recent film role was as Mr. Recthead in Captain Underpants, the first epic movie, but people probably haven't necessarily seen most of that. You've got Rossi Taylor as Otama.
Aww.
And then, last but not least, you have Mark Mosley as a reporter and a news anchor.
Oh, the voice of Mushu in Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yes, the guy who is most well known for being the sound double for Eddie Murphy, Patrick Stewart, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Patrick Warburton, and Robin Williams. And that is your voice cast for Pom Poko. So they got, it's not the biggest all-star cast that Disney ever collected.
Well, no, that's not what I was going to
for
say. I was going to say it was fairly large. Okay, you can talk over me all you want. I'm just watching Animals of Farthing Wood shape-shifting edition over here.
So yeah, it's a quite a large cast, but it's not the biggest all-star cast that they ever created. But to be fair, this is not the film that really deserved an all-star cast.
I don't know, this is kind of enjoyable so far, if just for, like, the antics of the Tanukis and the gorgeous environmental shots.
Tom, we are a grand total of 50 minutes and 30 seconds into this film.
Shut up.
The entire film
Shut up.
is just this.
No! My positivity! I said to myself during Ocean Waves, I was trying to go in with a more energetic bent to these. Not that I wasn't enjoying myself. Was his balls back there a fucking sitting mat? Anyway, I'm getting off topic here. I said to myself, I was fine with how like the first 7 or so commentaries went, but I want to try and get more in-depth into them to try and inject a little bit of energy into the more dull films. Wow, Coca-Cola's getting paid. And yeah, I would prefer if you don't harsh my buzz. Thank you very much.
I will try not to, but to be fair, there are certainly other people out there who will probably say really bad things about Pom Poko, far worse than I ever would.
Oh, fucking Sasuke.
Yeah. Where's a Sharingan when you need it?
Shut up, Richie, Jesus. You ever had street food before, mate?
Closest I've ever really gone to that is like when you go to like the little festival or marketplaces and get sort of stuff from there. So, I mean, in Nottingham there's always a Christmas market. I had a couple of burgers and stuff from there last year, because obviously I was working in Nottingham city centre at the time, and I was there for the evenings, and I was just like, well, why not? Although I have to say, whenever I think of street food now, my brain automatically shifts to Oliver and Company, and I just kind of want to go, why should I worry? Why should I care?
Oh man, they got like clone teams up in this bitch.
Well, they've got the ability to transform, so why the hell not go there?
This is kind of a neat, like, story, Ben. Like, they're trying to live among the humans.
So basically, they go through various different ideas in how they can succeed to rescue their place where they live. It's effectively that they, I don't even know, really. I think the idea is that try to live in the human world to survive, but also they want to kind of sabotage reality, like people to kind of make things better for themselves. I mean, effectively, that's what we are going towards here.
Yeah, that's very clearly just Clancy Brown being Clancy Brown. That's Tress McNeil. Just being Tress McNeil. Why does Clancy Brown always got to, like, if not play a villain, play a dark, brooding type of guy?
Well, I don't really know. Clearly he's gotten typecast.
I don't know, he's good in that type, but, yeah. It's always weird to see him play a straight-out good guy.
So, since, we are now in the midst of Pom Poko, and everything's sort of still going to shit. You know the name Pom Poko?
No. Explain.
So, Pom Poko refers to the sound of tanuki drumming their own bellies as a form of tanuki bayashi. Tanuki bayashi is a strange phenomenon of sound told about in legends across Japan. In the middle of the night, there are musical sounds like flutes or drums that are heard out of nowhere. In the Edo period, in Honjo, Sumida, Tokyo, they are also called bakabayashi, and as a ghost story that takes place in Honjo, they are counted as one of the 7 mysteries of Honjo. When one thinks that one has heard the sound of an orchestra, even if one tries to walk towards where the sound is coming from, the sound goes further away as if it were trying to flee, so that it would be impossible to know the source of the sound. If dawn comes while one is following the sound, it is said that one would notice that one is in a place one has never seen before.
Christ.
Mitsuru Seizan, the lord of the Hirado domain, also encountered this strange phenomenon and ordered people to find the source of the sound, but the sound disappeared near Warige Sui, so that it was not possible to continue following it. Just like its name, it is said to be the work of a tanuki, and searches for tanuki were also conducted around locations where the sound was heard, but no traces of tanuki were able to be found either. There are also legends of tanuki bayashi in the Shoujo-ji in Kisarazu, Chiba Prefecture, and like the Bunbuku Chagama and the Tale of the 808 Tanuki, it's also counted as one of the big 3 Tanuki legends of Japan, and is also well known as a nursery rhyme which is called Shoujoji no Tanuki Bayashi. And last but not least, in Sumida, Tokyo, near to Kume and Terashima, there was a farming area around that time, and because of that, the sounds from the autumn festival, a harvesting ritual, rode the wind, overlapped with each other, and became a strange rhythm and timbre. It was also thought that the wind would allow the sounds of shamisen and drums from around Yanagibashi to be heard from afar. So there's sort of a variety of things behind the idea of this tanuki bayashi.
Wow.
But it is commonly associated with tanuki, and the idea is that it's them kind of bouncing their fists off their bellies like a drum.
What a
because
bunch
they're weird.
of assholes. They literally killed a bunch of humans, like, by driving the trucks off the road into a ravine or whatever, and they're just fucking partying like it's 1999.
Yeah, it's basically because they think that if they can cause all the construction workers to quit, then their land won't get destroyed, but obviously... Don't be idiots, stupid bloody tanuki.
I only ever hear Tenzin now when he speaks. I take it you haven't watched Korra.
Of course I haven't watched bloody Korra.
Well, of course, we've discussed that before. I'm an idiot, sorry.
There's loads of shows which I feel I probably should watch at some point, but obviously there's life that gets in the way, and it's kind of a pain.
We've still got to watch Steven Universe, mate.
Yeah. Give me like a few years.
Well, to be fair, by the time that happens, I think the next set of episodes will be up.
It's probably quite accurate, to be fair.
No, they must all perish. We will drink their blood and our balls will grow huge.
And to be fair, humanity is just filled with assholes, so you might as well just destroy them all.
Yeah, basically.
It's a perfectly natural response.
Is that really the only reason you don't want to turn into a bunch of, psychopathic murderers? Oh no, fast food! Although, to be fair, when I get a craving, I get pretty psychotic as well.
You see, slightly crazy logic of Tanuki. It doesn't make sense. I mean, it all makes sense, but it's just like, really? You really go in there? Really?
I'm starting to see what you're talking about with the pacing issues.
Yeah, it's frustrating because as a basic idea, there's nothing wrong with Pom Poko. It's just that it's basically this for an entire film. And it's 2 hours long, and just... I am totally fine with Isao Takahata's slow, thoughtful pace to his films. That's his thing. But it doesn't really work with this all that well, I feel. Because it's very much I want to say it's a comedy, but it's sort of not. It's basically just an environmental film. And you've got to really carefully figure out how you're going to do those without seeming overly preachy. And Pom Poko comes across as really overly preachy. And also all the characters are assholes because they're Tanuki, because that's the whole point of their characters.
Yeah,
they're mischievous assholes.
I think it's fine to have one, trickster archetype character, but when your whole cast, or at least half your cast is that, kind of gets exasperating, and it loses its unique flavour after a while.
Exactly. Part of the problem with Pom Poko is also that because it doesn't actually have that much of a plot outside of humans want to destroy habitat, humans bad, Tanuki need to find a way to stop it, it doesn't really go anywhere, and for this type of film, it needs to go somewhere.
Thought they were going to do a fusion dance for a second, though. See, that's the peaceful way of going about that. That's how you should drive the humans off. Just, become a ghost or something. We're going all Okami here.
Yes.
I'm definitely going to pick up Okami HD for Christmas, I think, by the way.
Yes! I have succeeded!
You sold me on it, man. I adored, covering Okami with you.
Ah! Yes! I now don't care about the rest of this commentary. Can we just talk about Okami and how amazing that game is?
Well, let's pass the hour mark first, then I decree, filler is fair. Oh, man. the bants on display here. Like, every human is just littering, and like, I think it's realistic to have a few of them wanting to litter, but literally all of them.
I know, it's just ridiculous.
She'll have a monster face, I guarantee it.
Yeah, you're basically 100% correct with that.
Well, that was effective. See, that's a non-violent way of getting the job done.
Pretty much, yes, but also slightly terrifying.
Just take his bike for good measure. What the hell? Oh, come on, you're just taunting the guy now.
And also, he's running incredibly quickly.
Alright, I like the humour. Like, the Tsuki and the humans bouncing off of each other.
There is an element of a decent sense of humour here. It's just I just wish it was more contained.
It's like a fucking Doctor Who episode.
It is literally like a Doctor Who episode. I mean, I can't even remember what the episode was called, but it was David Tennant, Billy Piper in the 60s with the TV.
The Idiot's Lantern.
That's the one.
That's not Tennant's best, but it's enjoyable,
No,
I guess.
it's not.
See, more stuff like this, and I think the movie would be a lot more enjoyable. Just have them fucking with the humans instead of, like, preaching the environmental message.
Well, I mean, they were going to continue messing with the humans, but once again, we are half an hour into a 2-hour film.
Okay.
And basically, yeah. I seem to do this a lot with
do, yeah,
the
you need to cut that out.
I need to cut that out, yeah. The films that are slightly long, that don't have anything going on in them. Thankfully, and I will say this thankfully, there aren't many, if any, Ghibli films left where I would likely do this, because I actually like all of the other films in the Ghibli canon.
Okay.
Like, I've got some misgivings with My Neighbours the Yamadas, because that is a very quirky film, but I like what it was going for, and critically, Tales from Earthsea did awfully, and I would say that Tales from Earthsea is basically Ghibli's Black Cauldron, and that's actually a very accurate analogy.
Ooh, interesting.
And then the only other films that I would say have issues are Ponyo, which is a fun film to watch, it's just that it annoys me. And then From Up on Poppy Hill, but that's just because that's a slightly slower, more realistic film, but even then I enjoyed that one. So, really, Pom Poko is the last of the Ghibli films that I have, any major misgivings with. So, that's certainly a positive sign.
Yo, I vote for him. Damn. Like, you didn't tell me there was going to be firebending in this movie, mate. I'm suddenly 1,000 times more engaged.
There is no firebending in this, although to be fair, they're Tanuki, and they can transform into whatever the hell they like, and, they are magical beings, so actually, they could make themselves on fire if they so chose to.
What, he turned to mustard or something?
No, 100% sure.
To be fair, that would freak me out if a copy of myself just turned up right in front of me while I was trying to do my job.
Though, to be fair, I just go, that's certainly peculiar. Are you a Zygon, perhaps?
Yeah. Oh, man. I will say it kind of annoyed me that they never revealed who, like, the true Osgood was. Like,
I know.
a very Moffat-y way of doing things, like wink, wink. Oh, aren't we clever?
I know, but to be fair, that works out. I think for that, because to be fair, I wouldn't want to know whether the real Osgood or Zygood was the one who died, but still.
Well, you could always just go back to murdering. That seemed to work well the first time.
This is true, but also I feel that Shukichi here really just needs to, look up into the stars and hear the dulcet tones of James Earl Jones tell you, remember who you are.
Wait a minute, I'm not lying though. I think you need to go like 2 animated cannons over, mate.
Well, yes, but, he's out in a field at night looking up at the stars. All he needed to do was, just plomp down into some dandelions and let that float up into the air to spell sex.
Well...
And then see the clouds fall with an ancient tanuki, and yeah, you'd be pretty much sorted.
Well, I think that's going to lead to something here. There's no sex words in the sky, but I swear if I see 2 tanukis fucking on screen, I'm done. I'm turning off the video.
You're not going to see 2 tanukis going at it. You are still, however, going to see the tanuki balls, which are hilariously called, I believe, raccoon pouches throughout the film. Because obviously they can't admit that they are testicles.
These 2 are cute together, I'll give them that. No?
That took a very, very dark turn for a first date, did it not?
It's like if I was like, I came up to you and you'd had a good day. I was like, the wheels on the bus go round and round. By the way, my great-great-grandfather died of the plague.
Pretty much, yes.
Oh my god, are we still going on about that? Oh, by the way, yeah, don't tell me about any more dead family members. That doesn't get my raccoon balls pulsing, if you will. Oh.
There is not wrong there, unfortunately.
Yeah.
The really annoying thing about Pom Poko is that its eco-warrior message is not entirely wrong. It's just that, yeah, it's very preachy about it. And that can get really frustrating.
How? Yeah, I realise they can transform, but they can transform bits of the environment as well. Is that a Tanuki power?
Evidently, yes, because they're Tanuki and they're magic and they can do sort of anything, kind of a little bit maybe, I don't really know.
That's fine. Like, I don't mind like new rules being established so long as they don't contradict prior ones. Aww.
Yes, they're in love after, knowing each other for a little while.
Aww, frighteningly adorable, maybe. In before horror. Fuck this noise, I'm gone, you guys can build this on your own. Oh my god, here we go!
This is basically, come play with his... What's his name?
Forever and ever.
What's the kid's name in The Shining?
I don't fucking know. Like, every memory I have of The Shining has been replaced by The Shinning.
Danny, that's it. Come play with us, Danny. I've still not seen The Shining, so really, I really should not be making that reference, but...
Oh my god. This is a very Japanese, like, lore-centric film. Just the idea that, well, I mean, it's set in Japan, so maybe it's a tad redundant to say that, but, filled with spirits and whatnot. I don't think this film would have as much of an impact or identity if it was, like, set in America or something.
I don't think it would either, and that is largely because, for the most part, in America and in the UK, we're superstitious, actually quite heavily superstitious, but with that, we don't have that sort of similar reverence for spirits. In fact, if you look at all the ghost hunts and ghost walks that people go on, it's less about going, oh god, I've angered the ghosts. It's more, oh, come out and face me, you dick.
Like, I just love the idea of an angry Scotsman, like, oh, fucking come down and have some, like, I don't know what that accent was, I apologise. Ta-da! Mission accomplished, although...
Yeah. So it's just like, success, failure. No.
Foxes and raccoons? That's stupid. It's obviously evil demonic spirits.
Well, to be fair, it's not entirely all that wrong. Well, it isn't wrong, it's perfectly correct, but obviously... Yeah, this guy's just going, Tanuki, what the frick are they? They don't exist, it's all folktale.
What are you insane?
No, sometimes... Yeah. No, sometimes the unexpected and thought fake is actually real. It is just incredibly rare and unlikely.
Okay, well that's the law.
Yeah, it's certainly not the case anymore. It's certainly not going to go back to that, is it? Also, I like how these Tanuki can read.
Yeah. Although it's not really a hard skill to learn if you can transform into a human.
That is true. They've got the magic to be able to create anything under the sun. But, yes, and also...
Oh my god, drown in my sack,
massive
human!
ball sack. You know, it is quite terrifying when you look at certain animals and
Their sacks.
their sacks / genitalia. I mean, obviously, scientifically correct DuckTales is terrifying.
Yeah, to say nothing of the duck penis.
Yes.
Oh, conkers.
Oh, love conkers. I'm pretty sure we've already had a conversation about conkers at some point during one of our commentaries, but you know, since we're still in the middle of the film, what are your memories of playing conkers as a kid?
Hurting myself, because I can't aim worth a shit.
I know that feeling. I know that feeling very well.
I used her footsteps right there to check that the movie was in sync. It worked out a treat.
You see, you learn so much stuff with this sort of thing. Like when you're trying to figure out sync points, you just go, yeah, that sounds about right. And other times you listen to something and you just go, nope, that's she's going tap 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 tap. That sound effect's going, wait, tap 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 tap. It's just, no, that's not right.
Well, that's 10 years of sound. I don't want to say engineering. Fucking with, tinkering.
Yeah. Tinkering with sound, I feel, is probably apt as a description.
That sounds like sour cream from Steven Universe.
It might be. What's that character called again?
I don't know, but he's like newly come to this place.
No, the Steven Universe one.
Oh, sour cream.
Sour cream.
I'm probably wrong, it just reminded me of him.
Oh, so sour cream is voiced by Brian Posehn, who is in this film as the voice of Hayashi, which must be this fella.
There you go then.
Boom!
I fucking love sour cream, he's one of my favourite townies. Like, if we ever get around to watching it, I think you'll agree.
Probably, but yeah, once again, be a while.
I agree. Yeah, that's something I think on a daily basis.
We should put that up as a massive inspirational poster. The insanity just never ends. Yeah, that could become HellfireComms' new tagline. The insanity just never ends.
It's been a while. Like, what's the current one? It'll happen eventually.
Yeah.
Well, it could become meta if it doesn't change for another 10 years.
I say we change it to the insanity just never ends. Although, to be fair, maybe that's more suitable to other commentary groups than us.
Ooh. Are you trying to fire shots, Mr. Rich?
Ever so slight shots, but shots made out of love rather than contempt, because it's insanity. Who I mean, to be fair, who wants to be sane? Because being sane is a bit boring, and to be fair, I'm completely bonkers.
I bet the humans are going to be blamed for that as well. Oh, they changed the seasons. Oh, I'm going to smother them in my testicle sack. It's really been bizarre in a good way. Like how it just goes back to realistic raccoons at the drop of a hat.
Yeah, well, I mean, basically, realistic raccoon dogs is when they don't have any powers, so of course they're sort of going to look realistic. But yeah, the film's basically just going to get depressing from this point onwards.
Good, I want some drama. I want some stakes.
Well, there's definitely going to be sort of stakes. It's just, basically, Pom Poko kind of is from fun to... It doesn't quite make it to Watership Down levels.
Oh, well, let's be thankful for that.
Yeah, I don't think many things can get to Watership Down levels. I mean, to be fair, I still find it hilarious when Watership Down ends up getting shown on TV. And there are still parents who don't understand what Watership Down is. And they'll pop their kids down to watch it, and then they get partway through the film and all of a sudden just going, ah! No, change the channel, change the channel! It's just like, come on, like, at this point, everyone knows what Watership Down is. To be fair, I still haven't seen it. I probably should. But yeah, Patreon people, you can, kind of Give us that dollary do, and we might do a commentary on Watership Down if you choose to make us sit through rabbits murdering each other.
Well, I don't know where I was going with that, so I dropped that plot line pretty quick. At least no one was in that piece of human machinery this time. I think you've spilled enough blood for one lifetime.
Yeah, but there's probably going to be more death occurring throughout the rest of the film. I mean, after all, they're in a really bad place.
They did a really good job of just portraying nature as this beautiful, wondrous thing, so I gotta give the art team props for that.
Oh god, yeah, I mean, it's like the backgrounds and stuff in this film are gorgeous. And the cinematography, which is done by Atsushi Okui, it's beautiful. And to be fair, even the editing's pretty good, and that's been done by Takeshi Sayama.
Yeah, it's pretty snappy.
And the music's pretty nice as well, which is done by Shang Shang Typhoon, which is a pretty excellent name. And actually, I'm going to have a look at some of Shang Shang Typhoon's other scores to see if I can see anything, and no, that's not helped me out at all. It's just shown me because so Shang Shang Typhoon are a Japanese band of the 1980s and 90s, but there isn't actually a list of anything that they've worked on outside of their albums, which is really depressing.
Aw, what a positive message to send. I like these two.
They are cute. And also, to be fair, this is actually a relatively innocent relationship in comparison. Oh, there's the dandelions. There's the dandelions. But in comparison to so many relationships in films, which are so often very sexual based, although to be fair, they still ended up having cubs.
Well, yeah, they loved each other, so...
Yeah.
Aww. You just know it's setting up for a 1-2 punch of, like, tragedy, just by showing all this, like, cute family times.
Yeah, we are passing through the years at present.
The ether. Interesting how they choose to portray this with the realistic raccoon dogs instead of, like, the anime ones.
I suppose because it's a very natural part of nature and it is quite beautiful.
So I feel like I've missed something here.
Basically, just years have passed and things are taking place. There's a new project occurring that's going to further destroy where they live, and yada yada yada, and so on and so forth.
Huh. That was a weird change of pace vocally.
I know, it's just like, oh, we're British now. Just like, whoa. So I believe that was Kara, which is Olivia Dabo. And she's English-American, born in London, England, so that explains the accent.
Oh, yeah.
And that's Brian George as Kincho the Sixth.
Does he have any other roles in, like, animation? Because the name sounds familiar.
Let's have a look at his Wikipedia page. Obviously I said that he was... Oh, he has done quite a lot of anime stuff.
Was he in Avatar
So
The Last
he-
Airbender by any chance?
He was, yes, as Guru Pathik.
Yep, he was also in Steven Universe as Mr. Frowny.
He's also Duff Killigan in Kim Possible. He is also the voice of Ki-Adi-Mundi in Season 2 of Star Wars The Clone Wars. And he's been in loads. He's Alfred Pennyworth in Batman the Killing Joke. He voices Mr. Fettuccine in the Care Bears movie. He's the Dungeon Maitre D in Robin Hood Men in Tights. He is... Let's see... Seeing if there's anything extra fun here.
It's fine if you can't find any more. They're just struggling to eat right now. Oh man, yes.
Oh! He does the voice of Captain Barbossa in Kingdom Hearts 2.
Ah, interesting. Obviously, they weren't going to get Jeffrey Rush back for that.
Obviously. He's also the voice of Flintheart Glomgold in DuckTales Remastered.
Christ.
Dead Raccoon Dog. And just general awfulness occurring.
Guys, you can shapeshift. Break the cage.
Yeah. But that would just make sense, you know? Also, to be fair, I think some of these Tanuki have lost the ability to shapeshift.
He's got the moves. I'll give him that. I think he can single-handedly take on the human race.
Of course, I mean, to be fair, we were all pretty weak. I mean, I think we'd all... If we saw one of these Tanuki in reality, we just go, oh my god, run that way. I cannot be dealing with this, thank you very much.
Disband the military, it's over. Thank you. Voice of reason.
Exactly.
I like it. Oh, it's suddenly got a little bit less funny.
Yeah, got a bit dark.
What the fuck?
I think we've got a hostile takeover of the world order right now.
I've never really heard that before, but I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, I've not heard it either. I mean, to be fair, there are mice out there who do phenomenally well against cats, i.e. Jerry, i.e. Jacques, Gus Gus, and so on and so forth, but it's not really all that common in reality for mice to do phenomenally well against cats. So that saying was really bad.
Dark Gus Gus.
Jacques. That's the name of the other mouse.
Oh, I thought you said
Jacques.
Dark Gus Gus, and I was like, did I miss a Cinderella sequel or something?
Yeah, you know, it was that Cinderella sequel where the Heartless got control of Gus Gus and completely took over his body, and he became Dark Gus Gus, and he was like the big final boss of the film, and it was quite a hit, surprisingly.
I have been shamed enough, thank you.
To be fair, that said, Cinderella A Twist in Time is actually an alright film.
Well, let's put it in the second Disney font. Sorry, third Disney font.
Have we done Cinderella 2 at this point? Because I feel we need to do that one before we do Cinderella 3.
There's no rules about skipping films, it's fine.
Oh, that is true. That is true. And also, to be fair, Cinderella 2 doesn't matter if you watch Cinderella 3 anyway, so who cares?
The fuck is...
Yes, well, I think you can already tell that these people are clearly not actually human.
Well, I don't know. Master Roshi would like a word with you about that.
To be fair, I'm listening to this music and thinking, this reminds me very much of Mirror B from Pokemon Colosseum and Pokemon XD Gales of Darkness. It's just that kind of beat. It's just like, yeah, it's what I associate with him and his Ludicolo.
So are these the old masters, then?
Yes, these are the elders from the distant island of Shikoku. So yes, I think the idea is that they have come to help. And as you can see, they are super powerful Tanuki.
The dude on the right reminds me of, I think, President of the World in Dragon Ball. Well, on the left now.
Yeah, I have no idea about that. All I know is that I know that one of them looks very much like Master Splinter from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Just kidding, can't see shit. Holy shit.
It's pretty old, to be fair. I think the Doctor still has him beaten, but then to be fair, he's a Time Lord, so you win some, you lose some.
I like how he's fairly wolfish, this dude.
I know, but he's still very much a Tanuki. It's just that he's got more raccoon dog features than the other anthropomorphized raccoon dogs, because clearly that's what happens when you anthropomorphize into anthropomorphic raccoon dogs.
Ooh. Foreshadowing, maybe?
Very much foreshadowing, I feel.
Well, time will tell on that one, I think.
Pretty much, and I mean, considering we have a grand total of about 56 minutes left of the film,
Richie,
time will definitely tell.
What did I tell you?
Well, you see, now I kind of have to have it as a little bit of a running joke throughout the film, because, I can't actually tell jokes, so I have to take what I can get.
Well, you're the straight man, so that's fine.
I'm the book guy who just goes, so this is a thing, and it's time for story time with Richie. Annoyingly, there's not a lot of story time with Richie that I can do with this film, I feel.
Well, there's other Japanese folklore that we haven't taken into account yet.
That's true. I mean, I suppose there was that lovely little bit about the oh god, what was it? Let's see. The Tale of the 808 Tanuki, which is one of those legends that is frequently told. So, would you like a story time with Richie while we pray to the moon, I think?
Sure, why not?
So, Inugami Gyobu, or Gyobu Danuki, is a Baka Danuki, which is a monster tanuki told about in legends passed down in Matsuyama, Iyo province, which is now Ehime Prefecture. And he is known due to appearing in the tale of the Matsuyama disturbance and the 808 Tanuki, which is considered one of the big three Tanuki tales, along with Shoujojo no Tanuki Bayashi and Bunbuku Chigama.
Uh-huh.
So, the tale of the Matsuyama disturbance and the 808 Tanuki was based on the historical record of Iyo Nagusa that told of the Ole Sodo, which occurred during the Great Gyoho famine in 1805, and in the Edo period, and according to the Koshaku storyteller Nanryu Tanabe, it was a ghost story that added elements of Tanuki and yokai to it and became known through Kodan. For this reason, there were several variations depending on which particular Kodan storyteller told it, but the story mainly goes as follows. In Shikoku, there are many folktales and legends about Tanuki, but the Tanuki of Matsuyama in particular has a history of them that goes back to the beginning of history in the ages of Emperor Tenji, and as a result of Tanuki giving birth to Tanuki, there were 808 of them. Its leader was Inugami Gyobu. He lived in an old cave in Kumiyama and was a Bake Danuki that continued to protect the Matsuyama castle, and from his household of 808 Tanuki was also called 808 Tanuki, Happy Yakuya Danuki. He is said to have the greatest divine power in Shikoku. Part of his name, Gyobu, was a title awarded by an ancestor of the Lord of the Matsuyama castle, and he received faith from the vassals in the castle and had a deep connection with the local people.
Oh.
In the era of Matsuyama Oki no Kami, the Ole Sodo occurred, and Inugami Gyobu was used by the rebel side, and he gave commands to his follower Tanuki to cause strange occurrences to support the insurrection. And yes, he just used his ballsack to create a massive toad. In the ghost story Inomo no Roku, the feudal warrior Ino Badayu punished Inugami Gyobu with a divine rod that he received from Usa Hachiman Dai Bosatsu, and as a result, Inugami Gyobu and the 808 of his household were sealed in Kumiyama. The cave remains even today in Kutaninagumi, Matsuyama City, and is known as Yamaguchi Reishin. And that is basically your story. There are obviously variations, but basically gets locked away with his 808 spawn.
Oh, I wish he hadn't said that when there was fucking Tanuki balls on screen.
Oh
But then again, when aren't there Tanuki balls on screen in Pom Poko?
my god. I have now just seen a taxidermy of a Japanese raccoon dog.
Huh.
which looks terrifying and sort of like the tanuki in Pom Poko, and I can see why the massive ballsack is quite so prominent.
Okay, so they're bringing their A game now to scare away the humans, going full spiritual here. Don't think I didn't see, like, Shenron come out back there.
Yeah, I think the idea here is to make the humans think that the town is haunted. But obviously, this just looks like a festival, and people are totally down with the festival.
I'm waiting for the twist to come. Oh my god, yeah, I think it started.
Hey, it's the thing that Cappy's based on in Super Mario Odyssey.
It's a very typical, like, monster in Japanese folklore. I could have sworn it turned up in an earlier Mario game, actually.
I think it did, yes.
One of the land games.
Probably yes.
We're talking about the umbrella, by the way.
Yes, of course we're talking about the umbrella.
Please tell me that's not coming out of your balls.
That's probably coming out of his balls. And look, it's the two gods that the... is it the genie trio in... is it Black and White are based on?
Yes, and, yes, I think.
Yes, it's roughly about right. And there's a good old Darmanitan.
Ah, this is good building. I bless this building. Oh, and now I'm a cat.
Basically, in that small image, we effectively just saw the birth of the idea that would go on to lead to the cat returns.
Oh, okay.
Not really. I'm just playing on what happens in the cat returns, but yeah, still.
Okay. Man, I've never seen this cut of Digimon the first movie before. Really bizarre.
Very weird.
Yep, that's John DiMaggio. So what was the point of this? Because the humans seem to be enjoying this little show they're putting on.
So the point was to re-establish respect for the supernatural and to stage a massive ghost parade to make people think that the place is haunted.
Okay.
But obviously that's really not what they think, because why would they? But I have to say, I'm enjoying the glimpse into so many elements of Japanese folklore and mythology.
Yeah.
Because we look there, you've got the stereotypical spirit design, the wisp type thing.
Yep, we covered that in Ghost Trip. Oh, I love oblivious humans. Man, if I saw that, like, outside my window, I would be smiling with appreciation.
But then, to be fair, they are kids and clearly they're weird.
Well, they just enjoyed the banter, really. That wasn't nice.
That was just rude.
Surprise! Well, that's a real jump scare.
Yeah. To be fair, I think that's the only jump scare that's actually okay. When an actual monster's coming out of the screen at you, rather than, when they try and fake it.
Alright, grand finale time, I think.
Is it really bad that I'm hearing water and fire, and my brain's immediately going to I'll Make a Man Out of You from Mulan?
I can see why you'd think that, yeah. This master guy seems to be straining himself, so I think that foreshadowing is going to pay off in the end.
I think you're probably right.
To be fair, this is a fairly, lengthy transformation sequence they've got going on. Definitely the highlight of the movie so far.
Yeah, basically, and yeah, he's pretty much buggered.
Oh no, Mr. Bones' wild ride is over! Oh, did that actually happen? Or was that a transformation too?
Honestly, I don't know. But either way, he did.
Okay, just so long as we're clear.
They're gonna think, oh, that was really cool. I want to see it again.
Well, sorry, we don't have an unlimited supply of Tanuki Masters, unfortunately.
To be fair, we do seem to have a sort of unlimited supply of Tanuki. We don't actually. They're probably all going to die at some point, but we've got quite a lot of them. Just, burn through them, lose some of the assholes. Might work out okay.
But they're all
Give them a better
assholes,
chance of
Richie.
survival, to be fair. This is true, but if you get rid of the worst assholes and just leave some of them, then they are more likely to survive. And also they become more bearable because there's less assholes to deal with.
Are you promoting eugenics? Is that what you're getting at here?
Wasn't quite what I was going for.
Don't go full movie while on me.
Yeah, definitely not gonna do that.
Well, let's do it in a more efficient way next time. Maybe one that doesn't burn off life energy.
Yeah, it would probably be for the best, wouldn't it?
Tanukis are a bit stupid, aren't they?
Yes, that is also effectively what's gonna screw them over in the long run, because they're not paying attention to the very important news.
Hmm. Was that reused and just flipped around? It's kind of hard to tell.
It might have very well been. I was just slightly concerned about the Tanuki that was wearing his ball sack as a blanket.
Well, you would if you could, but you can't, so you won't. Yeah. I think, like, Galactus himself could come down and use a single finger to, like, destroy the UK, and we'd still think we're better than him.
Pretty much, yeah. We would, because if you've not already noticed, the UK, we're very sarcastic about a lot of things, including ourselves. And, like, we look at any source of power, and we just go, you're funny. Donald Trump, you think you're all that? No, we'll protest you. It doesn't matter when you come. We'll protest you because we think you're a dick, and we're not afraid to say so. So yeah, we're just assholes. God damn it, we're the Tanuki in this situation.
Yeah. Oh my God, we are.
Oh, buggery hell!
That awful moment when you realise you are the big bald raccoon monsters.
So yeah, this guy is the biggest asshole of them all, because he is effectively going to take credit for the parade and say that it was a publicity stunt, because the humans must always be the bigger assholes in this universe.
Well, that's one way of covering stuff up. Can't explain it. It was us. Such a businessman thing to do. It wasn't authorised, but it was fucking kick-ass, and we'd do it again if it would get us the publicity.
Yeah, and the really annoying thing is that it would actually work.
Huh. Why would he go to jail exactly?
For holding an unauthorised festival,
Oh, right, okay.
for breaking and entering into people's homes with something or other for some of his things, perhaps.
Oh, God,
Yeah, that was a very stupid thing on his part, but there we go.
Whoa, this guy looks like he just stepped right off one of those, like, classical Japanese paintings.
He does very much so, doesn't he? And actually, if you look at him, there is probably a very good idea for that, because he's most likely the one creature that we've sort of seen but not really dealt with, and that is the kitsune. Because he looks particularly foxy, doesn't he?
He does. Not in that way, although...
Not in that way! Because obviously there's another really famous type of creature that transforms in Japanese myth. You've got the tanuki and you've got the kitsune. And obviously they are foxes that are able to transform into human beings, and they're very wily and also quite big assholes, but they're more manipulative assholes, whereas the tanuki are idiotic assholes.
It's good if they're the backup TV.
It's definitely good that they did, but, you know, they're all kind of going to be losing their minds ever so slightly.
Nice hat.
I know, it looks very charming.
Oh, I'm not sure if I like this guy. I sense shenanigans.
He's a fox, what did you expect? Although, to be fair, I'm looking at him and not really seeing a proper fox nose, and it's really freaking me out.
Yeah, it's kind of like a rabbit-fox hybrid.
Well, not even that. He looks like some sort of lizard to me.
Ah, well, that I can get behind. Oh, I see. So he's trying to give them a better future through the power of human business? I don't know. I'm just throwing shit at the wall at this point.
Yeah, to be fair, basically what you're gonna get at this point is obviously the Tanuki's last big plan failed, so, they're all gonna be really split off, and we're sort of beginning to get the inklings of where it's going. You're gonna get some Tanuki that are probably going to try and join the human world, as the Kitsune have already done. Some are going to go off in another direction. You can probably tell what one of those is going to be. And there are two other main ideas that could occur.
I mean, yeah, that would be beneficial for a transforming animal, but that means you just have to completely be subservient to humans at that point and give up your freedom.
Yeah, which is not ideal at all.
Kinda getting hungry now.
Well, did you make sure to have dinner before we started this commentary?
I had a bowl of cereal.
Tom!
I'll probably have some toast and tea after. Oh, okay. So the ones who can transform will be taken care of. The other ones, they're SOL.
Yeah, basically, but to be fair, is there much else that you can do? Like, if they can't transform, then they're pretty much buggered anyway, so you might as well let them be buggered. Which is an awful way of thinking about it, but natural selection, only the strong survive and all that.
Nothing can be done at this point. You must join the humans.
Basically, although, obviously they're all going to go off in their own little worlds in order to try and succeed.
Haven't heard that one either.
I haven't, but I get the idea. It's basically don't jump the shark.
Yeah, sounds about right. Yeah, because that would work so well in your favour when a tank rocks up on your back garden.
Yeah, although to be fair, you can see exactly where he's gonna go, eh?
And just his luck, there was an entire news team outside with cameras and everything.
That would be pretty amazing, wouldn't it? Just like a news crew walked in on this and just like, I'm seeing live anthropomorphic talking raccoons, dogs. What?
You really should try Operation Big Wave one of these days. It's the hypest shit. Fucking FTCR. I can't think of anything else nowadays than just to laugh.
To be fair, when I'm hearing Operation Spectre, I'm just thinking, why did you have to name it after the not-so-great Bond film? You couldn't have called it Operation Skyfall, which was actually decent.
Operation Goldeneye 007, starring Pierce Brosnan.
Exactly! Like, much more... You see, this is the reason that Operation Spectre failed, because it was based on Spectre, and that was a stupid movie. It should have been Operation Casino Royale, or Operation Skyfall, or Operation Goldeneye. Like, one of those would have done so much better.
Is Daniel Craig still James Bond? Because I remember saying he'd rather slit his wrists than star in another film.
I think that he has signed on. I'm just double checking that.
I mean, I don't really care, but if you want to fact check it, that's fine by me.
Because I know that it has been debated. So apparently, yes, Daniel Craig has confirmed that he will play Bond for a fifth and final time for Bond 25. So he will return, but then that's it, apparently.
Magic. Far more powerful magic than any of our Tanuki abilities. I love we tried the fun trick as well.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, that probably would have been the slightly smart thing, because obviously these Tanuki are not the smartest creatures in the world, are they?
They're telling a lot of the story through these narrations, and I'm not sure how I feel about that.
You can see why I have a lot of problems with this film. It's just like, there's interesting things going on, but it's just told really blandly. Because it's just mostly through narration. And it doesn't necessarily work quite as well, and it just makes the film seem a lot long. I mean, it's long, but it makes it feel longer than it is.
Yeah.
And while there's like fun jokes and fun interesting bits in it, it's just like, you probably could have wrapped this up in about an hour and a half.
Yeah, we should be done by now.
It made it a lot snappier, just got rid of some of the flack, have your massive bit on Operation Spectre, because that was a highlight, and is a really good showcase of what the Tanuki can do, and just kind of cut away the stuff at the beginning. The relationship between Shokichi and whatever the other Tanuki is that he fell in love with, and their kids who now seem to not be anywhere present. Because while that was lovely, has it served any purpose? Is it going to serve any purpose? Nobody actually knows.
Yeah, I wish it kind of focused on their relationship rather than Gonta. Although, even with you saying he's kind of the main character, there is really no main character.
Yeah, basically, I think the film would have done a lot better if it had focused entirely on Shikichi and how he is dealing with this situation that is occurring around him. Because I think that is also part of the problem, is that there's no basis on which the audience can find solid ground.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's no character that they can officially attach themselves to, and so it becomes very difficult to properly emotionally connect with any of the characters. Or you get the situation, you appreciate the situation, but because there's no characters that you really associate with, it just becomes really difficult to entirely care.
All's well that ends well, right? There's 25 minutes left! Jesus. I could have gone my whole life without seeing a Tanuki's jaws open that wide.
Yeah, I could have done that as well. I could have also gone without seeing Tanuki turning into creatures that could do that to people, because that's pretty horrific.
No, we love the trees. Get the picture?
Yeah, it's not going to end well for them, is it?
Why isn't he the main character? It doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
No, it doesn't. I don't think it makes sense to anybody.
Like, he has the main character voice and just mannerisms, but he's not the main character.
There's a lot with this film that is just incredibly frustrating. Like, there's ideas here that are good. There's interesting elements of plot. There's interesting elements of design. Just none of it comes together at all. And it's why it's so frustrating.
I wouldn't say I'd agree with that, but yeah, I will say there's a teeny bit of wasted potential.
And yes, that is a ballsack trampoline.
Thank you, Richie. Kinda caught that. Oh, my god. I already knew about this beforehand, but seeing it in motion is just 10 times more traumatic. Are they doing what I think they're doing? Oh, okay. I thought they were, like, gonna explode or something.
No, I think they're trying to suffocate the humans with their ball sacks.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry for laughing, but just, oh my god, just the idea of, like, you get to heaven. So, how did you die? I lost my life in the war. How did you die? Accidentally fell out some stairs. Clumsy, but understandable. How did you die? Got
Yeah.
Smushed to death by...
Would not be the best way to go, eh?
His voice sounds very familiar.
I believe that is Mark Mosley. Yeah, that is most likely Mark Mosley, aka the lovely voice double for many people.
Raccoons are real! I can't believe it! Just very weird because they're Tanukis. Like, this is just a dub change thing, really.
Yeah, call them raccoon dogs, which is what is actually accurate. They are Japanese raccoon dogs. They're not raccoons. Apparently, Tanuki also get confused for they get translated as being called badgers. They're not badgers.
No, not at all.
Just, how bizarre.
This should be good. His balls, imposing, large. There you go. Finally, the truth. Humans won't ever take praise for our work again.
Yeah, but, they're not going to listen to this at all, are they?
Rawr! I'm a bear. Now I'm a goat thing, and I'm a rabbit. Hop hop. There. I sure showed you. Interesting how there are a few foxes in there.
Oh, look, it's the fireflies.
Thankfully, I don't have anything to rattle around here.
Don't do that to my heart.
They're dead, in a pile. They're probably going to get skinned, and no one's going to eat them. Yeah, Not the best folk song we've ever come up with, honestly.
No, and yeah, this is basically your Watership Down moment, although you just get to see dead bodies rather than, actual animal murder.
Huh? So are they just leaving the film?
Are they? They're basically going to their deaths.
I can't, look at this scene. You'd never know, out of context. That's that's a ship made entirely out of scrotum.
Yeah, basically. And it is the ship on which all of these Tanuki are going to die.
So what killed them exactly?
I don't really know. Life killed them? Well, I mean, for those ones, it's quite easily the truck killed them. The ones on the boat, the magical ball sack killed them?
I don't remember this character.
I don't remember this character either, whatsoever. But yeah, we've basically got... It's only 15 minutes left, and to be fair, there's like one big thing left, and then the finale, denouement, so we're nearly there.
It's not a trial, Richie. We're doing this to entertain people.
I know, but this is Pom Poko, and...
No. It doesn't matter if it's Sonic 06. You always put your damnedest into a commentary.
Oh, I know.
They don't even have ball sacks the size of ours. How did they accomplish such magic?
Well, I mean, how is quite easy to answer, to be fair. You know, they brought in lots of machinery and just destroyed it. That's pretty much your answer. I think the question you were looking for is why?
Why, damn you, why?
Yeah, either that or going, no! One of those two would probably been the better response, I feel.
So they're basically just gonna live in nostalgia until the next fight.
Well, no. Effectively, what they're going to do is they are going to, as their final last act of defiance, show people what the landscape used to look like to remind them of everything that's been lost. And then see where that takes them.
Music is great. We haven't really given it enough praise, honestly.
Oh no, I think it's because the plot's such an issue that, yeah. But the music is gorgeous.
Interesting. There's a more extreme version of how Totoro did it.
Very much more extreme. But then, to be fair, I don't think the Tanuki are quite as powerful as Totoro. Totoro's just a badass.
Jeez.
Whereas these guys are kind of small, and obviously all their power is down below.
You describe it as some kind of Lovecraftian nightmare.
Well, to be fair, some people do think that Totoro is like a god of death, so... eh.
So is this an illusion? Is it going to be like this forever? Because I don't think they can hold it that long.
No, this is just an illusion to show everyone what this place used to look like before it got taken over by humanity, despite the fact that in doing this it sort of makes it appear that the humanity that is seeing this is not present, and therefore how can they see it? But...
Well, when in doubt, blame it on the Phantom, Ruby.
Yeah, or, you know, the magical ball sacks. That tends to be a good shout for this film, I feel.
Oh, come on, are you, like, displaying different seasons at the same time?
Evidently.
So am I to take from that their mother died or something?
Honestly, I'm not sure. That's my answer to that one.
The fuck is going on here?
That is my question exactly.
Look at their balls. They're huge balls. Stupid child. They're tanukis.
Get it right. They might have stayed if you'd called them by their actual blooming names.
Well, glad you went through all that effort to make no impact whatsoever. Really nice looking place, I'll give it that.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Weren't they doing that already, though?
It sounds like they weren't, which is really, really bad town planning if you ask me.
You need a bit of greenery in an urban environment just to have a nice bit of juxtaposition.
But, Tanuki still die.
Well, that's what happens when you live alongside the humans and their giant steel horses. Right, I think we're coming to the end of Pom Poko, mate, so you've been the most vocal about this up until this point, so why don't you give me your review first?
I like the principle of Pom Poko in the telling the story of these magical tanuki is interesting, but it's too long. It's like the plot doesn't kind of pull itself together because so much of it is told through this narration when really they could have spent more time actually developing the characters of the tanuki, and even if they just focused in on one and had the whole thing occurring around them, it would have succeeded, I think, a lot better because the soundtrack's beautiful, some of the visuals are amazing, it had good ideas, but it's just, in the end, a film that just ends up being actually rather dull and tedious to watch, and at the end of it I'm kind of just left feeling going, well, that was a film that I don't actually ever want to see again. So in the end I give it a D rank, to be fair.
Okay. I didn't find myself hating it as much as I was expecting to. The visuals are great, the music's great, it's got a good cast, parts of it are funny, I like the shape-shifting aspect. Again, like with Laputa, it just has pacing issues, so not as bad. Well, I should say, Laputa doesn't have it as bad as Pom Poko, which is why I'm going to give it a C on the nosy. But yeah, it definitely could be better. I just don't dislike it to the lengths that you do.
Yeah, which is just fair enough, but yeah, it's annoying because it's just one of those films that could have been quite good, but it just ends up being, yeah.
I think you've given the first D of the marathon, mate. How do you feel about
that? Well, I feel fine. I just say that it's quite fitting that it was given on, the film that is pretty much entirely focused on a certain section of mammal anatomy.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, we end as we begun with all the tanukis just basically living it up. So what was the point of them being sad in the first place?
No idea.
Well, this has been Pom Poko, guys. I assume the credits are about to roll, so thank you very much for listening to us bitch for a couple of hours. Come back tomorrow for another Ghiblithon commentary where we cover Whisper of the Heart. That should be an interesting one, so we'll see you there, where Richie will no doubt be less of a bitch. Bye!